Hello there, and welcome to another episode of e.d.h. Geeks. And in this episode, I'll be discussing something that's extremely near and dear to my heart, which is my squirrel tribal deck. I have built this deck twice actually. I built it a few years ago, and I actually had Reese the Redeemed as the commander since there wasn't any legendary squirrels or real legendaries that would allow me to play Squirrel Tribal. I was very sad for a long time playing that deck because I just sort of felt like there wasn't a really good commander for what I was doing, and I didn't really want to pull it apart, but I decided to because there really wasn't anything at the time. But then later on, A Cornelia came out, and I was overjoyed that this legendary squirrel came out. I was very happy to rebuild my squirrel deck, and I have so much fun playing this deck. This is not a competitive deck or anything like that. It's not overpowered. It's not unfair. It's just squirrels. It's got some good spells in there. I would say, like I've put the two new Turn Timber Symbiosis, and I've put a couple other new cards in there like Balagad Recovery, um, and I've also put in there a couple of very powerful cards like Necropotence, just because there's not that many squirrels in the deck, and you really need to be able to draw cards independently of having creatures a lot of the time. So, and you need sort of very powerful draw engines for this sort of deck. But I absolutely love this deck. It is such a silly, janky deck that I decided that I wanted to play with. There aren't really quite enough squirrels that are in the deck, like I sort of said. You need a lot more draw power to help you try to find your squirrels. There's a lot of druids and shamans and whatnot that happen to make squirrels or happen to care about squirrels and whatnot. Things like that. Earl of Squirrel is one of the best squirrels. This is certainly got a few uncards in it, so it is an undeck for the most part, unfortunately, as well. Wizards, I wish you would give us some legal squirrels to actually play squirrels in Commander, and I wish you would print more squirrels. I was highly hoping that they would print some squirrels in the new Commander Legends set. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. If you follow me at all on Twitter, at any time you will see that I post a lot of posts about squirrels because I really love squirrels. This is just such a janky, uh, fun little archetype that I really enjoy, and I think I put a lot more effort into it being this janky, fun deck. Um, Apart from my other decks, because the other decks are a little bit more like, well, I actually care about winning with these decks. Whereas Squirrel Tribal, I don't really care that much about winning with this deck. It's like for me, I've lowered the expectations of what I expect from the deck, and I've also set myself the sort of bar of saying, well, if any point in the game that I've made a lot of squirrels and someone's either wrath the board because they're scared of my squirrels, or that they've just gone, oh no, we've got to deal with all these 1/1 squirrels. At any point, I just consider that a flat win because at that point you can't be mad. You're like, I've made a whole army of squirrels. I've done what my deck's trying to do. I've, basically, and if I win from here, I don't care. But, it's just the fun of playing this ridiculously silly tribe that is very underrepresented, and I wish there was a few more members, especially in the colors that it's meant to be in, really, or at least in the color of this specific commander. I wish there was a real commander that would actually encompass the squirrels. But there's only one white squirrel, there's only a couple black squirrels. Most of the squirrels are green. Um, but you certainly need removal, and that's where black can help you out. Green doesn't have very much good removal apart from like Beast Within and some like artifact or enchantment removal, but it doesn't really have board wipes, and it doesn't have much single target creature removal. And despite this being like a quote token deck for the most part, you don't really have a lot of good card draw options and that sort of thing, because a lot of the good card draw is associated with non-tokens or with creatures that have high power, higher than 3 power. And most of your squirrels are small unless you can find some of your lords, and there's just very few cards that sort of relate to squirrels. But it's just such a fun deck. I don't really care about that too much. I would wish there would be more, and I wish it would be a bit more supported. But I think to a degree, sometimes the fun of this sort of deck is like how difficult to a degree it is, or how much you've got to work around it, or what you've got to do to make it, viable. That sort of thing. Plus, I just like the whole kind of aspect of sort of semi-teasing people, I guess, to a degree, like saying, "Oh, the squirrels are gonna come for you. They're gonna get you. They're gonna they're gonna run through the trees of of your mana base and find your nuts and eat your nuts or whatever." Things like this. It's just like so flavorful. Um, with all these squirrels, and it's just like it's so funny when people are scared of squirrels. It's like, oh no, so many squirrels, and it's just a very fun deck that I can pull out and just get some janky sort of moments like that with people in game. And it's like I said, it's not overpowered. It's just a fun casual deck that I bring out every now and again. And if people are playing like lesser powered decks, I usually bring this one out. I would like to have another somewhat less powerful deck like my other decks are trying to be more powerful and trying to achieve a win through most of any means necessary. Um, but this one's just, it's sit down, fun, silly, stupid fun, which is what I think is the best thing about it. Um, and you don't have to try as hard with this deck to try and win, or to try to be serious, or try to um, get ahead or whatever. It's a less competitive deck, I suppose. But anyway, it is the best thing ever, in my opinion. I absolutely love this deck. I had a lot of fun brewing this deck. If you would like to see a deck tech on my squirrel deck, or you would like to help me out by trying to get more squirrels into the Commander format, like, share, subscribe, and if you want to see more content like this, um, please support us on Patreon. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you again in another video.